All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Chancellor Circle Virtual Business Briefing. We're going to get started. I have a wonderful co-host today, Amanda Benson-Tilch. And as we get started, Amanda, if you will just help me watch that waiting room and continue to let people in.
I got it.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning. My name is James Kniblik, Director of Development at the College of the Canyons Foundation. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you here today. And this is a Chancellor Circle virtual business briefing hosted by the College of the Canyons Foundation. You know, I always like to say as we kick these off, starting back in April, the Chancellor Circle kind of dove right into this virtual Zoom world that we live in, and since have offered 12 really engaging business briefing Zoom meetings for our business community. We hope this has served as a resource and a benefit for you and your business. Thank you for being here today with us and talking about this really, really important topic. Now, I want to take a moment and thank, in particularly, our Chancellor Circle members that are here with us today. Your continued support in the Chancellor Circle is empowering our students in more ways than you can know or imagine. And precisely, we are really excited to shed a light on mentorship today. And you know, the Chancellor Circle and mentorship are intertwined. And I'm so proud of the fact that we get to actually shed a light on a partnership with the COC Foundation alumni network as well, because these things are also intertwined. Today's events will be shared on our YouTube channel later today or in the coming days, and you'll also be receiving a follow-up email with the instructions. Well, today we're excited to offer an impressive and engaging lineup of panelists. And my co-host, Amanda, will be introducing everyone individually. But first, let me just talk a couple details for us to consider. Your chat box in this Zoom meeting, and we're all very familiar now, is your friend. So use it to ask questions. Use it to even say, I want to ask a question. That's perfectly fine, and you can unmute yourself and you can kind of go from there. But go ahead and find that chat box. And if you could, just to make sure everyone's comfortable, say hello. So either drop your name in or say hi to one of our panelists, just so we know that you have found it. And we will be looking for questions there, and we'll be going back to questions. Now, questions may be saved to the end. That's going to be left up to our moderator. But we're just going to try to get to everyone's question as much as possible. If you're on the phone with us today, you're likely automatically muted. So you can unmute yourself at an appropriate time if you'd like, and use *6 to unmute yourself. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce what our next business briefing is going to cover. And that's going to be a presentation from Mr. Brian Kegley himself, of course, longtime foundation board member. And I believe this is year 7 of him presenting an employment law update to the foundation Chancellor Circle. So I couldn't be more proud to be able to partner with him again this year on behalf of the Chancellor Circle. But most importantly, wow, what a year to talk about with everything that has changed in employment law. I see many business leaders and owners on this call shaking your head in affirmation. And Brian is the expert in the room to talk about some of these things. Just as a reminder, the Chancellor Circle makes up of about 50 very generous members who contribute annually to the foundation to support student success and to support the foundation being able to do some really amazing things. One of the cornerstone projects of the Chancellor Circle, although there are many things that the Chancellor Circle supports, is our mini grant program. And this faculty mini grant program is an award that is given annually to as many faculty members that we can who present and propose projects to their dean and to the Office of Instruction in order to further the mission of education and help our students. To date, we've awarded, I know we say this number a lot, but every time I hear it, it impresses me. To date, you have funded over 170 $1,000 mini grants to faculty in the last few years. Again, and that's just one of the things that your membership of the Chancellor Circle does and contributes to. Well, as we get started, I'd like to introduce my co-host and our moderator for today, Amanda Benson Tilch. Started her career as a business owner in Valencia, California. She owned and operated a flower shop for 3 years prior to getting into real estate. Early in her career, she also joined the Hyatt Valencia family, and later as the associate publisher at Elite Magazine, a Santa Clarita Valley community magazine publication here in our valley. Amanda's sales, marketing, social media experience, and community involvement landed her the Hyatt Public Relations Award of the Year in 2015 from the Hyatt Corporation. And in 2017, the Ask Amanda consulting business was born, and a brand that so many of you and I know Amanda through and appreciate her expertise and her visibility in the community. In her spare time, and I have no idea how she has any of that, Amanda likes to take getaways with her husband and friends to Los Olivos, and I love Los Olivos, a wonderful place to visit. But as you know, if you know Amanda, you can usually find Amanda at an event or every event in the nonprofit community in our valley. And she currently serves on our board, on the College of the Canyons Foundation Board of Directors. And one of the reasons why Amanda is here today is she's actually, in addition, the co-chair of the College of the Canyons Alumni Committee. In fact, she is, of course, a proud alumna herself. She is vice chair of the Wish Education Foundation and serves many other critical organizations and causes in our valley. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to hand over the reins for this morning's Chancellor Circle virtual business briefing as a moderator to you, Amanda. Take it away.
Thank you, James, for that introduction. Thank you all for being here this morning. I hope everybody's had their cup of joe and they're ready to go with our conversation and topic today. Very thankful to our panelists, which I'm going to give you all a little introduction to, but I know that they're all front and center. I hope they are on your screen as well. And I think they're the only ones besides James and I that are not muted on purpose, but please utilize the chat box during this conversation. Let's jump into this mentoring topic and empowering others. This is actually part of the alumni's main strategy or success this year, focusing on mentorship, especially now during this time. I feel like our students need it the most. And so I just wanted to shine some light on a little bit about what mentoring can be and what it is for students, as well as in the workforce. I think it's a great program. So mentoring is a reciprocal and collaborative at-will relationship that most often occurs between someone with more life work experience paired with someone with similar ambitions and goals for the purpose of the mentee's growth, learning, and career development. In the workplace, often the mentor and mentee are internal to an organization, and there is an emphasis on organizational goals, culture, and advice on professional development. Here at College of the Canyons, the goal of the mentoring program is to connect students with College of the Canyons alumni and community leaders while assisting them in providing opportunities to develop themselves personally, academically, and professionally. It's actually our mission statement, so I just snuck that in. But I want to that you guys kind of knew what the mission was for today. And today we're very fortunate to have a panel of experts in the field of mentoring and empowering others. I'm going to give a little introduction to each panelist as I ask them their first question. And Sherry, the first question is going to go to you. So before I ask you your question, let me do a little introduction about who Sherry is. With an entrepreneurial spirit, Sherry Fleming has harnessed her business acumen, communicated her vision, and gained the respect of her industry and community to become a highly respected, award-winning Acura brand dealership. Infusing a culture of treating customers the way her and her husband, Don, would want to be treated led to the moniker Friendship Dealership. Today, Valencia Acura is one of the highest-ranking customer satisfaction dealerships in the country. Sherry's positive, forward-thinking optimism is evident in all her endeavors. She gives back to the community because she cares deeply and knows her effort to make positive change in the lives of others, receiving numerous recognitions for her leadership, philanthropy, and community service, including the prestigious Silver Spur Award by the College of the Canyons Foundation in 2019, just last year. Sherry serves on the board of directors for organizations such as the Greater Los Angeles New Car Dealers Association, past president Seroptimus International of the Americas, chair-elect of Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital, and chair of the Child and Family Center. Sherry, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So my first question is going to go to you here. I mentioned the Seroptimus, which is an organization that you're involved in, which helps empower girls and young women through education.
Right.
But I know they also have a very strong mentorship kind of like program as well. How would you say mentorship has played a role in developing effective leaders?
Well, I really believe that every leader can typically point to a mentor or a moment in time that influenced their path. As you said, Seroptimist is an organization whose vision is to make sure that women and girls have the resources and opportunities to reach their full potential and to live their dreams. On a local level, Seroptimist has a Dream It, Be It program where we have a team of members go into high schools when we can, and with a broad stroke, provide a high-level mentorship experience that focuses on 7 key pillars: confidence, perseverance, growth, accomplishment, love, self-care, and resilience. This conference-style career support provides girls with access to the professional role models around them, career education, and of course, the resources that they will need to live their dreams. Narrowing our focus to the individual level, Seroptimus also has a signature program known as Live Your Dream. This is an education and training awards program celebrating women who are head of household, facing severe hardships that impact their ability to pursue and achieve their educational goals. Seroptimus definitely knows that education is the game changer, especially for women. The women receiving these cash awards can use them for any costs associated with their educational efforts. They can use it on tuition, but if they need to pay for a babysitter so they can go to school, or if they need to fix their car so they can drive to school, these are ways that we're happy for them to use this money. And each recipient then has an opportunity to advance to the region level and potentially to the federation level, where they are awarded up to $10,000. And it's an amazing program. Over the past few years, or I guess it's more than a few years now, since 1972, over 2.8 million has been awarded to recipients. Seroptimus stay in touch with the people who we have helped, I think, which is even more meaningful. What happens is what starts as really a financial assistance program evolves into a long-term relationship between Seroptimus as mentors and our students. And since most awardees pursue a career in the healing and helping fields, they themselves pay it forward later in life. And really all it took was for someone to believe in them.
I love that. I love the things that you said about they influence the path of the young women or girls, and that they all stay in touch with each other, which is probably what a good mentorship program would be doing, and how they pay it forward, which is what all of you are doing today. I actually think by here, you know, Sherry, you also, your dealership was also so kind to the COC Auto Tech program and the scholarships that you've given to the students through Seroptimus. I just wanted to say that as well. I mean, that's part of the paying it forward part that I know that you're involved in. Thank you for that. I appreciate that input and shining a light a little bit more on what the Seroptimus are for such young women and girls and your involvement with that.
Thank you.
The next question is for Jenny. So Jenny Ketchupah, I'm going to do a little introduction for you. Jenny is the Vice President of Talent Engagement for a local business bank. She manages initiatives such as extensive leadership development program, corporate culture, employee engagement, well-being, training and development, as well as all of the bank's diversity and inclusion initiatives. She has been working in the financial industry for 22 years, serving in various leadership capacities. Jenny grew up here in the SCV, and she currently serves on the board of Boys and Girls Club of Santa Clarita and is a certified Gallup strength trainer and coach, which, if some of you don't know what that is, yesterday, Jenny was very kind to be on a webinar series for the COC alumni, and she spoke about finding your strengths, which is what the Gallup strengths training coach is, correct? Is that a little bit more? Yeah.
Yes.
So it was very enlightening. I mentioned to Jenny that my son and I were on the call, and it was like a wake-up call for us. It gave us a lot to talk about. So Jenny, can you shine some light on the importance of mentorship in the workplace? Maybe share a few tips on running a successful program?
Mentorship is so important in the workplace. It's important everywhere, like Sherry was talking about, out in the community, but also in the workplace, it's really important, especially as we think kind of about the generation gap that's happening as we have, people exiting the workforce and we have new workers coming in. There's going to be a lot of succession turnover, and that's something that a lot of organizations aren't thinking about, is planning for the next generation of leaders, and mentorship can really help fill that gap. And so whether it's a formal program or an informal program, it can really be beneficial. As a mentee, you are being exposed to different levels of leadership, you're being exposed to different facets of the industry, and that can be really powerful for somebody coming up in leadership. For the mentor, this is really neat. When I think about serving as a mentor, often we think about the mentor-mentee relationship, and it's really the mentee that gets the most out of it. But really good mentors often get so much out of it as well. When they go into the relationship and they're really open, I love hearing about mentors that have been in industry a long time, and they'll be mentoring someone and they'll be like, I can't believe how much I learned from this new person that came on board. And so that's really cool in a mentorship program. The more organic it can be, the better. So a lot of times in an organization, we try to put a lot of structure around it, right? Because that's what we do as organizations. But really, the more natural things can happen between a mentor and a mentee, the more they can almost choose each other sometimes in an organization. It's not always easy that way. You sometimes have to help pair people up. But the more people come into it honest, open, excited, incredible things happen as a result. And so I would say if there's an organization that wants to do more mentoring, don't get stressed out about trying to put a lot of programming around it. Really, it comes down to two people connecting, two people talking, two people engaging. And when someone's engaged in your career, when someone cares about your career, that really engages you as an employee. It helps lift you up, and all of that development that you're doing, you're then investing back into the organization. And I think that's really powerful. So whether you have served as a mentor before or not, people get nervous about, I don't know if I can do it. Everybody has the capacity to do it. If you care about developing the future of leaders, then you can be a mentor, and anybody can be a mentee. If you care about the development of your organization and you care about your own development in an organization, then it's a really incredible dynamic. And whether it's formal, like you meet once a month or once a week, it's really the dialogue, and it's the education, and it's the sharing of knowledge and information, and it's really inspiring on both sides of it.
Jenny, quick piggyback on that. Do you have any recommendations for somebody that in a smaller business that might want to start a mentorship program? Like, what would be their first kind of steps? Would it be trying to pair people up, or?
The very first step is asking who wants to be a part of it. That's what you want. You want people to raise their hand. It does not work if you say, you have to be a mentor and you have to be a mentor. It really works best when people can raise their hand and say, I want to be a part of this program. That's what leads to true success. So that's the step number one. Who wants to be a mentor? Who wants to be a mentee?
I think that's great advice. So thank you for that, Jenny. I really appreciate your insight on that. You just have so much experience in the corporate world. I believe that you can really, you're such an asset to us listening today. My next question is for Steve Korn. So let me give you a little introduction about Steve. Steve Korn has been employed in the real estate settlement industry since 1990. He is currently the owner of Newhall Escrow Company, which was established in the Santa Clarita Valley in 1963. He transitioned to owner in 2004 and has since grown the company to be one of the premier escrow companies, servicing Santa Clarita, San Fernando, and Antelope Valleys. Steve has also served as the president of Santa Clarita Valley Escrow Association and is currently an affiliate member of the Southland Association of Realtors, Escrow Institute of California, and the California Escrow Association. That's a tongue tire right there. Steve is actively involved in the community and gives his time by serving on the foundation board of directors at College of the Canyons as the current co-chair of the board of directors, chair of the First Year Promise campaign, member of the Wine Studies and Building Capital campaign for the Institute of Culinary Arts, as well as a member of the Chancellor Circle and patron of the arts. Steve is also a member of the Santa Clarita Valley Rotary Club and has served on the boards of Campus After Dark, Single Mothers Outreach, and an advisor to Fostering Youth Independence. Steve credits his membership with Vistage International since 2006 with providing him guidance and tools needed to be a better leader, making better decisions, and creating better results. Vistage recognizes the importance of Steve's dedication to self-improvement, his company, his community, and improving the lives of all that he touches. Steve, I felt it was very important for me to mention the Vistage group because it's an executive coaching program for CEOs. And when I heard that you were part of this years ago, I was like intrigued. I had no idea because I just think you're so in tune. And I know that you personally coach and mentor a few others in the real estate industry. Can you provide a few tips on what it takes to be a successful mentor?
Sure. Thank you for the introduction. I appreciate that, and happy to be here with everybody today. So Vistage, number one, is just an incredible organization that, you know, as an owner of a company, we don't often have a sounding board to take our baggage to or get our issues solved or sounded. So and those of you that are in a situation of leadership, key executive roles or owners, I'm open myself up to you to field questions about membership potential in Vistage. It can change your life. It did mine. So Amanda, with regard to mentorship, I have two key words that define my mentoring program, which is delivering value. Okay, so it's very important to be focused in this area. Delivering value is the difference between being great at what you do, which is expected of all of us, and making a positive difference in the lives that you touch and standing out from your competition. So I'm going to come at this mentoring program from a business development perspective, trying to separate myself from what you guys have already heard from a community-oriented, and what you want to hear in a minute about student orientation, okay? This is about business. So my goal in mentoring anyone is to make a significant positive difference in their life, so at the end of the day, my emotional gas tank is full, like Jenny said. Yeah. I can't tell you how much joy I get out of seeing people I help flourish because of the ideas and the time we spend together. And here's the thing: to be an effective mentor in business, you need to define what or who your model client looks like. Because once you have this framed, you'll be able to pick and choose who you spend your time with. Not everyone deserves or qualifies to be your client. Think about that for a minute. Mm-hmm. You can't be a mentor or a resource to everybody. And if you try to be, you're going to diminish your capacity and your value. So who you choose to offer your time and dedicate the next several months, even years of your life, is very important. The answer to that is the person that best models who you want to do business with, and it's worthy of your time. I developed a three-way test similar to the Rotary International four-way test. And the three-way test I apply to every person that I think about, you know, wondering what their life is like. So I sit in a room of realtors and I look around and I know pretty much everybody. I look at, you know, even my colleagues at the college or any other board anywhere. I don't just, it's not just business for me, because I've developed this my mentoring program to be open to everybody. But I first started it from a business perspective, from a business development perspective. And I asked myself three questions about a person I was looking at. And when I asked those questions, if I can answer yes to all three questions, that gave me the permission to find a way to approach that person and say, hey, how's your business? How's life? How are you doing? You know what I mean? Really, how are things? And when that person's response to me in one or both of those questions was less than what they would like it to be, like, the business could be better, or my life has had challenges, I usually respond with, perhaps we should have coffee or lunch. I think I can make a difference in your life in those areas. Are you interested in getting together? And 99.9% of the time they go, yeah, I would love that. So for me, that's the permission to have a meaningful, confrontational dialogue that gets into their life to understand where they're coming from, what their challenges are, and how I can plug in the gaps. Now, for me, it's a little bit easier because in the real estate world, I know what their challenges are. Okay, I already know what issues are facing them because they face the entire industry. So I come up with solutions to ahead of time that I know if they implement these ideas will change the trajectory of their business and their life. So that's, in a nutshell, my mentor program on a surface level from a business perspective. On the individual employee, like Ginny was saying, you need to invite, welcome in that opportunity for people. And I do the same, I apply the same thing, three-way test to everybody. And I just, anybody that says to me, I'm struggling, I'm hurting, I could use some help. Well, then, let's sit down and talk about it. But I will warn you, it's an addictive, addictive skill to have because I love helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've figured out that that's my secret sauce. And that's what makes a difference between my company being successful and others having a mediocre time in a difficult market. So it really hammers home all the important things in life: to give back to others, be of value, and to fill your gas tank.
Jenny, did he just chime in with his strength finder or what? Like he just knows his secret sauce.
I love it.
Yeah.
Steve, language.
Right. Steve, would you be willing to share what those three questions are that you ask?
Sure. So they're pretty personal, actually. And so I'll frame it with the 4 questions, the 4-way test of Rotary. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it bring goodwill to all? And will it build better friendships? That's the Rotary 4-way test. In the spirit of the 3-way test I created, I look at a person and I ask them, are they selling real estate for the right reasons?
Mm.
Meaning, are they from the heart? Are they the kind of person who wants to help people? Or are they that scripted by the numbers, fast moving, boom, 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 boom? Okay. Second question is, can they be loyal? That doesn't mean what it says. It means, do they work for a company who happens to own an escrow company? And if I deliver value to them and they bring business to Newhall Escrow, and the broker says, hey, why are you supporting Newhall Escrow and not our in-house? If that agent can say to that broker, because Steve Korn and Newhall Escrow delivers more value to me in my life, in my family, than anybody in your organization, he's my guy, and he's part of my life. He helps with all my decisions. That's number 2. Number 3, do they want to work hard? So that means that if the person I'm talking to is a second career individual, maybe independently wealthy, just says, I'm just doing this real estate thing because it's kind of fun for me, and I'm really not going to market myself or spend a lot of money in my career. I'm just going to, if the phone rings, I'll pick it up. If it's a friend or family, I'll sell. Well, I'll help that person, but I'm looking for the person that says, yes, I want to have a successful career, and yes, I want to make a difference in the lives of others, and yes, I want to make a meaningful difference in my community. Well, then there you go. All three yeses to that. We're going to have a conversation.
That's great. I love all of the Rotary questions, as well as yours, diving in a little bit more personal to how you can serve, actually. So thank you for sharing all of that. I think that's been very enlightening. We might have a further conversation after this is over.
My pleasure.
So my next question is going to go to Bruce, and let me introduce Bruce Fortine, who is a graduate of William S. Hart High School, has a Bachelor of Science degree in business from Pepperdine University, and a Master of Science degree in higher education administration from Cal State Northridge. For 30 years, he was the president of the Los Angeles County Law Enforcement Public Safety Facilities Corporation that financed buildings for the Sheriff's Department and County Fire Department. Over the years, he owned and operated numerous businesses, including a rent-a-car company with offices at John Wayne Airport and Disneyland with a fleet of 100 cars. I feel like I knew everything about Bruce, and I did not know that. In 1967, Bruce was elected as a founding member of the Board of Trustees at College of the Canyons, the only one of the 5 members elected still living. He is incredibly proud of the college that started with 475 students and now has over 32,000. This year, Bruce was awarded the Silver Spur by the College of the Canyons Foundation for his community service, of which we have yet to still celebrate. So Bruce, we will be doing that soon, I'm sure of it. So after that, I would like to ask you, having been involved with the college for as long as you have, how do you think mentors can best serve the students in our mentorship program?
Well, I have a little bit different approach than the rest of the panel in that mentorship, when I was growing up, wasn't even a word. It wasn't anything. And I can tell you that I got started not even knowing about mentorship because Ernie Clan from my elementary school, Castaic Elementary School, and remember, it's not Castaic, it's Castaic. He was a mentor to me too in the 6th grade. Mm-hmm. And then I went to Hart High and I had mentors there. Harold Hoffman, Jim Bedell were both Pepperdine guys, and they were role models for me, and they were mentors. So that's how mentorship got really started without even knowing it. My association with College of the Canyons, I was very young. I was like 29 at the time I got elected. And, you know, that was, as I tell everybody, College of the Canyons is the best work of my life. And I hope it will for many of you. But mentorship kind of evolves in my life. I had run across one student who it was a little bit older than the normal high school kid, and we became close friends. And actually, he's on the program today. And we would meet every Wednesday morning at the egg plantation in Newhall, and this went on for a couple of years. And we formed a company. We were in a financial area. And one day he came in and said, got to talk to you. I said, okay. He said, I've got an offer to go to Wall Street from an old friend who is willing to train me. And I said, absolutely, go. And we closed the corporation and he went. And he said, I'll be back in 5 years. I said, yeah, okay, sure. Well, 5 years later, he was knocking on my door. And he had come back, brought with him a brand new wife, and we renewed the egg plantation membership, and we have been meeting every week or two for a couple of years. Well, long story short, he is now the CFO of this financial entity on Wall Street, a very high profile, high powered job. And he talked the company into opening an LA office. And that office became Santa Clarita, and it was not an official membership, mentorship, but he refers to it as that. And I'm just so proud of what he has done in his life and continues to do. And he is again, associated with College of the Canyons. And, you know, he will bring to the college things from another area that we've never had. So we're looking forward to that. I have another young man who is also on the conference, and I saw that he is under an assumed name of of James Kniblik. So if you see him on there, it's really Nico Cardenas. And I'm so proud of Nico. And you know, we've been together for, gosh, 10, 15 years now. I've written letters of recommendation to get him into colleges, and he's done a supreme job of that. A COC graduate, and you know, he is now with New York Life Insurance and doing very well, and is still giving, is now on a college foundation board, and he's giving back to the college.
Mm-hmm.
Not a mentorship, but an association I have with Teresa Ciardi with the HAS program. And I'm so proud of Teresa and what she's doing. It's just incredible. She is an instructor at COC and was in charge of the a club on campus, astrophysics and some long words that I don't understand. And she leads a group that has been recruited by NASA, and they go to NASA headquarters every year for the last 3 years to put a unit into outer space, which is unbelievable. And I'm so proud of that program and the students that she has, and I'd love to work with them. And you know, out of 30 educational institutions, all of those institutions are universities except one. College of the Canyons is the only community college out of 30. The rest of them are like Stanford and Yale and Harvard and Cambridge University and from all over the world. So it doesn't get much more impressive than that. And these students, because of that program, they get recruited by four-year universities and doing very well, and they get scholarships from NASA and different JPL and so forth. And you know, that to me, being associated with those kind of students, again, it's the best work of my life in College of the Canyons.
You know, Bruce, I'm going to jump in here because both Alan and Nico commented what a great mentor that you've been, and that you've been a mentor to so many other people. But what I love about how you started this, you know, you're part of the conversation off, is that you mentioned the words role model. And I have a few of those in my life too. And I refer to them as mentors, but they don't even really know it because we don't have an official mentorship relationship, but they are truly my role models. And I feel that you have definitely, you are that, and you have definitely been that to these people that you've not only mentioned, but so many others. And I think that that's the benefit of what the students could get. You know, that's a takeaway that the students could get from being a part of our program, because people like you are in it. And it's just, I mean, just the things that you have mentioned so far are just so heartwarming and real life stuff. And kind of going back to what Steve had said, I mean, I know Steve's a role model for some of these people as well, of being a success. Same with Sherry for all that she's accomplished. And man, if you want to learn how to be, you know, positive and grow your position in a company, definitely Jenny is a role model as well for that. So thank you for sharing so much about, you know, just those few stories that you shared. I know that you've got probably 100 that you could share that are so much more like that. I want to before I leave with you, and I want each one of you just to kind of wrap up answering this one question, if you could, if there is maybe one benefit that you got out of being a mentor, if there's just one thing that you could share with us that really changed the reason why you continue to be a mentor? Bruce.
Well, I would say that being able to help another human being succeed is the most rewarding thing that you can do. And it's a lot of fun too. You get to associate with the kids, and that works.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a grandpa.
No, that's good. Sherry, what about for you?
Well, I think that the best part about mentorship, like Jenny said, is the mentee gets something, but I think as mentors, we get so much back. And to be even thought of as a leader is awfully amazing to me. I'm very proud of, I have an associate in my business who went to the next SCV event that we had at our dealership, and she stayed to help me. And then she said, Sherry, how do I get more involved? I mean, after hearing what all of you are doing, I want to do more. So she joined Sir Optimist, and she helped chair our fashion show, and she jumped right in with both feet. And it's just so fun to see how she is growing and developing.
That's incredible. And Jenny?
I'm going to use a word that Steve used when he said the word value. That's exactly what I thought of. When you see somebody else recognize their value, own their value, and can really share that with other people. As you know, we take a real strength-based approach, and I love when people just really lean into what they do best, and when they can really articulate that and live in that space. That word, I think, value goes hand in hand with empowerment. So when you see somebody that loves what they do, that feels that they bring value to the table, and that they're empowered to lead with that, that's just the best ever, and so much getting out of it.
You just gave me the chills. I feel like that's so right on. It's so right on. And Steve, what about you?
Well, for me personally, so many people that I come across, I come to love and respect and admire, and they tell you how much of an effect I had in their life. That's all it takes.
So great. You guys, thank you so much for sharing, just for sharing and being a part of this. I feel our audience definitely got some takeaway. If anybody has some questions for any of our guests, I'm going to have you put them in there. I see a lot of great comments. If the four of you could be looking at the group chat, I think you'll see some great comments from you guys as well. I want to just mention too that if you want to become part of our mentorship program that the college has to offer, James is going to put the link into the chat box, as well as email it out to everybody after this, so that you could sign up to become a mentor. All you have to do is click on the Connect tab and then the Mentorship tab, and it will tell you more about that. But we're really trying to grow the mentorship program at College of the Canyons, because as you just heard from this 4 fantastic panelists, that it is not only rewarding to give back, but and to help somebody grow in their actual lives. It's really just you get so much out of it too, the value that you get. So I want to say thank you to everybody who has signed up already. We're starting to make some connections with that. I don't know if there's any questions here, but I wanted to throw it over to Ed said that the one thing that all the role models have in common is kindness. And I thought that was another great, let's see. Somebody does have a question for Sherry. If you can put that in the chat box, that would be great. James is dropping in the link for everybody to join and connect with it on the mentorship program that COC alumni is putting together. But I'm going to throw it back over to James to kind of final up here and to talk about a few things while I try to monitor the chat box.
Sounds good. Yeah, and Amanda, anytime you want to interrupt me.
Okay, I'll go bananas.
That'd be great. I am so very, very impressed. Not only are these 5 individuals friends of mine, and I have had the pleasure of working with them in some cases many, many years. I am speechless in terms of the value of the advice and content and just genuinely kind sentiment that you all have. I know that everyone on the call who knows you personally knows that this is the type of thing that you live and you walk and talk every day. So we just couldn't be more impressed and pleased to be able to have such genuine people as a panelist, and you as well, Amanda, as doing a fantastic job moderating. Before we kind of wrap up with closing comments, I will just give second that plug that Amanda just shared as far as our mentorship program. I did put some instructions there. It's very simple. It does require you to create an account, and it's really important because this is a way for you to stay in touch not only with your mentee, but hopefully in the future, maybe doing it again and staying connected with our mentor, with our COC Alumni Network platform, which is an online platform. And I will say, most of you know me, and you probably received communication from me leading up to this event. If you want to email me and just say, I don't know how to do this, and I want to become a mentor, that's perfectly fine too. So
here, I'll help too. Email me, I'll get you in.
Reach out to Amanda. So we're all very comfortable with the platform. If you can't figure it out, or you just can't or don't want to, the most important thing is to raise your hand and become a mentor. So.
James, I have a couple questions here, if you don't mind.
Sure.
One is for Sherry. Teresa would like to know how she can connect and help girls and women with STEM dreams together. Maybe if you could connect with Teresa and you guys could have a conversation, that would be great. And we could drop in some more, but do you have like maybe something that you want to say about that really quick about the STM dreams together?
I think that, I think go to a local club meeting, wherever you are, a local Seroptimus club meeting. Anywhere, we have like 120 different countries and territories. I think you'll learn more about what we do, and it's an amazing friendship networking piece of the puzzle, which is not why anyone really does it. But, my club is Seroptimus International of the Santa Clarita Valley, Greater Santa Clarita Valley. Go to seroptimus.org if you want more information globally, and come join us.
Thank you. And then Paul asked, how can we keep supporting our youth and young professionals? Because I think all of you guys are a part of the SCV 40 under 40 or the SCV leadership programs in SCV. Does either one of you have like any thoughts on how we can keep supporting our youth and young professionals?
I say continue to be ambassadors, continue to encourage other people to nominate, to talk about the programming, to get involved in the programming. So the more that we can all serve as ambassadors and encourage other people to get involved in it and support those people, as we are involved in business, supporting people getting involved in those programs as well, I think that's powerful.
I love it. That's the best. Be an ambassador. I think that is fantastic advice, Jenny. We all kind of forget about that. We all have the opportunity to do that because we're meeting different people, even though during this time, look at how many people are on here. So I really appreciate you saying that as a reminder to all of us. You guys, I just want to say thank you again so much. I value everybody's time here that we all have to get back to our lives. Also, my coffee ran out, which means that's it. No, but James is going to send out a link to everybody. And James, do you have any final words at all about?
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone to put this on your calendar for December 4. We will be posting this. If you're not on the Chancellor Circle mailing list, please let me know. Most of you should be, since you registered. So you'll be getting an invitation shortly for December 4th with the employment law update from Brian Kegley. I want to be able to, she's not able to be on our call today, but I want to actually thank two people. First of all, Dr. Van Hook, who is just the reason why we're here. It's a Chancellor Circle supporting the College of the Canyons leadership and the amazing work that she has done for so many, many years. And also Jill Milady, who's a chairwoman of the Chancellor Circle Steering Committee, who's very busy this time of year, if you know Jill and some of the things she's involved with. So these next 2 weeks are pretty busy. But I just couldn't be more grateful for those two individuals. And a special thanks to Nico, Stacy, Claudia Dunn Martinez, T, Joe Clacco, Jeff Forrest, Kathy Ritz, many others on the call here that work tirelessly to help put these events on, and also the content that the Chancellor Circle is able to provide for our community. So that's it, everybody. Jenny, Steve, Sherry, Bruce, Amanda, thank you so much for your time. And I hope to see you all very soon, and be kind to one another. Have a great day.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.